solution for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey.
Riding with you every mile since 1977.
Hi friends, are you a retiree like myself and have some spare time and wanting to meet new people? I drive school bus for Cobeson Buses. I enjoy seeing many smiling faces, and I still have time for the activities I enjoy. Cobeson Buses offers a flexible schedule, and it's a well-paid part-time job. It's the perfect balance of work and play. Come join me make a difference in your community. Visit Cobeson.com for more information and to find a Cobeson terminal near you.
Pitch home. Fly ball to right. Tucker is back. Tucker's still back and gone. Bryce Terang, a two-run home run to give the Brewers the lead.
Go Brewers. I'm so happy we won. Just want to say that. Thank God.
Yeah.
Bryce Terang.
The Brewers haven't had too many three-game losing streaks, especially as of late, Julia. So,
I know.
Yeah, that win felt really good.
And most of all, producer Brandon is happy. He's floating on air right now, the producer.
He's back normal now.
He's back. He's back. We're all back. All right. You know, I wanted to talk about something that is sports related. It was in The Athletic and the New York Times. It's a surge of stalking with huge sports stars, women and men alike. This is Olympic medalist Gabby Thomas. She posted this on X about her stalkers.
I need some advice right now because I fear that I'm being stalked and I genuinely don't know what to do or who to go to. At this point, every time I travel, I'm afraid that these men, it's 3 to 6 of them, middle-aged, are going to show up and harass me.
Isn't that wild? She says middle-aged men are consistently showing up everywhere, knowing her plans ahead of time, which flight she's going on, her exact gate at airports, the next city she'll be at, and they allegedly approach her with numerous photos to sign, then become aggressive or hostile when she refuses. Other athletes have come up with disturbing stories, including Simone Biles being followed, harassed, the same exact thing, going to those airport gates. It's becoming a concern as women's sports are traveling. They're in the public eye. It's getting bigger. Here's another one that was super freaky. Remember this one? Emma Raducanu, who is in the midst of a match in Dubai.
It doesn't look good, does it, for Raducanu? Appears to be in tears here. And this is very, very concerning.
Here's what we didn't know at the time. The person that was making her cry handed her a letter prior to the match. The specifics have never been unearthed, but he was stalking her at the hotel she was staying at before, taking photographs, and his behavior at that match was described as fixated, caused her to sob on the court in the second round on international stage. She told the umpire, "I literally can't see the balls through the tears in my eyes. I could not breathe." So security intervened. But since 2020, The Athletic reports there have been more than 50 high-profile stalking cases with sports stars, men including Rams defensive lineman. I was telling you about this, Telly, earlier. Aaron Donald, do you know who he is, now retired?
Yes. Aaron was a huge star and Super Bowl champion. And it's crazy. But before we get to Aaron, I know Caitlin Clark had something, was dealing with something like that when she got with the Indiana Fever, and she had someone stalking her. And this is going to bring to light another issue, Julia, and that is with the popularity growing in the WNBA and other women's sports, they're going to have to travel the way that the men do. And the men have charter flights and private flights and things like that, where the WNBA, that was one of their biggest fights, was trying to get charter flights throughout their season.
Oh, it's going to happen now.
And when you could just go to the WNBA schedule and you could see, okay, they are going to be in New York on Thursday. Most likely they're going to fly out Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And you could just go to the airport and you may run into one of them.
My goodness. So when Caitlin Clark was with the University of Iowa, her alma mater, they bolstered security in her last final season. It was reported at $466,000 in security for that.
Yes, and I mean, because she was having an historic season, and she's one of the most iconic women basketball players ever. And so when you have that type of profile and that type of attention on you, it does bring out some very unstable people.
And going back to Aaron Donald, the judge ordered a 5-year restraining order against a woman he accused of stalking him and his family for the past 5 years. He said, look, I never met her. She's bombarding me with messages, some threatening the life of his young son. She even sent balloons and packages to his kids. He wrote to the court, I'm fearful of my safety and the safety of my wife and children. So this is really interesting, too. One more note. The LPGA, so the women's golf, they recently contracted with a specialized security firm with former U.S. Secret Service agents. They added a button to its player portal, a digital hub for all the tournament details and everything. Also, if they push that red button, it will deploy security to the player's exact location on the golf course.
Great. That is awesome.
Me too. I think that's super good.
That is great.
So it's super interesting. Be safe out there no matter what. And yeah, everything keeps getting more and more high profile. You can follow anyone at whatever they're doing if you post on social media.
Yeah, exactly. And to not be able to perform your job at the highest level because you feel your safety is at risk is that is not good. So, I mean, that is great that they're taking the proper security measures because, I mean, you have people out there that have access to you and access that they didn't have before. So it's good that they are beefing up security.
444 on WTMJ. Major legal moves coming up this week. We're going to talk to ABC News legal analyst Royal Oakes on Trump's $500 million fraud judgment tossed. Epstein records stay sealed. And the Menendez brothers face parole board after 35 years.
This is Al Feckler at Cannon & Dunphy. Call me old school, but I have such great memories of growing up in Milwaukee, going to ball games at County Stadium, cruising on Highway 100, even seeing Cannon & Dunphy commercials as a kid. That's because for over 40 years, Cannon & Dunphy has been leveling the playing field against big corporations and insurance companies so people like you, people I grew up with in Milwaukee, could get the justice they deserve. I guess I like to call that old school justice. If you're injured, call the team at Cannon & Dunphy.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Flanners Home Entertainment. Does the audio and video system in your home need an upgrade? Well, Flanners has all the solutions and the installation experts to simplify and upgrade your home entertainment experience. Forget about the impersonable big box stores and risky online purchases. You go with locally owned Flanners, where quality service, the best brands, and guaranteed best price remain top priorities. Stop by Flanners in West Dallas, Grafton, or at Flanners.com. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
It's one of the hottest topics when it comes to finance and your money, the One Big Beautiful Bill. If you haven't read it, we don't blame you. It's 900 pages with 400 just for tax provisions. Not exactly light reading. You know who has read it? Annex Wealth Management. That's where Instant Insight webinars come in. They're designed to provide clarity for today's hot topics. Get up to speed fast. Check out the full Instant Insight schedule at annexwealth.com/events. Unbiased advice from a fee-only fiduciary. Find out more at annexwealth.com.
We got spirit, yes we do. We got spirit, how about you?
Hi, I'm Matt Dorner, CEO of Milwaukee Downtown Bid 21. Downtown Employee Appreciation Week is back August 18th through the 22nd with daily giveaways, office challenge games, and much more. It's all designed to boost your team's spirits. Learn how your company can participate at MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
Hey, it's Jeff Sherman, host of The Upswing. Working downtown doesn't just mean being at the center of business. It means you're a part of Milwaukee's heartbeat. There are so many perks, whether it's grabbing a quick bite, catching a show after work, or connecting with people who care and share the passion for the city. And Downtown Employee Appreciation Week, August 18th through 22nd, is when it all comes alive in a special way. If you want to discover more on how you can live, work, and play right here in the heart of it all, check out MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
It's worth $100 now to save thousands later. Vince Vitrano for Urban Heating and Cooling. Family-owned business. Ryan and his wife, Ellie. I had Ryan out to the Vitrano house for an AC tune-up. Cleaned out all the coils, checked for any issues that could cause breakdowns, set up my air conditioner to run more efficiently all summer. This service available in your home for just $99 plus tax, saving on your electric bills, helping prevent more costly repairs down the road. Tell them Vinny sent you when you call. UrbanHeatingandCooling.com.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
weather. Debbie Lazaga, how are the roads right now?
Well, we've got a bit of a mess. Westbound 94, right about at Highway F in Waukesha County. We've got the right lane blocked with a vehicle fire. Now, for a while there, the right two lanes were blocked. Even they closed down the whole freeway for just a little bit while they're getting everything into position. And big delays stretching all the way back, almost to Highway 100. So keep that in mind. Along eastbound 94, we've also got delays from Highway 16 to Highway F with rubberneckers. And then beyond that, we've got delays from 92nd Street through the Stadium interchange. Within those backups, we do have a crash at 70th Street off on the right shoulder. So that's something to keep in mind. Westbound's just going to be tight through the Stadium interchange. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Flood warning remains in effect for the Fox River Lower in Kenosha County until Tuesday. Tonight, clear, a low of 63. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 80. Saturday, a slight chance of morning showers, and it's going to be breezy and sunny, a high of 78. Sunny and breezy Sunday, a high of 71. Monday, a slight chance of morning showers, then sunny, a high of 68 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, it's sunny and 72 degrees. 4:49 on WTMJ. Hope you're having a fantastic day. A week packed with major legal headlines, from the overturning of Donald Trump's $500 million civil fraud judgment to new developments in the Epstein case and the Menendez brothers' parole bid. ABC News legal analyst Royal Oakes with ABC breaks down everything, and he joins us on the Talk and Text line. Royal, thanks for joining us.
You bet. Big legal day. Absolutely.
Let's start with the Epstein case. The judge has now definitively blocked the release with the grand jury materials, but what legal protections make that grand jury testimony so difficult? Like, do they differ from the files the DOJ is preparing to share with Congress?
Yeah, absolutely. So what happened is that 3 federal judges now have entertained requests by the Trump Department of Justice, please release grand jury materials about Epstein. Inquiring minds want to know. Transparency is great. And every time the judge has said, in America, grand jury proceedings stay secret forever unless there's a good reason. You haven't given us a good reason. The judges have commented there's nothing much in these files. As a result, they're going to stay sealed for now.
Royal, what about the appeals court throwing out Trump's nearly $500 million civil fraud judgment? I'm sure this is something that he will appeal, but as of now, I mean, how did that all go down?
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. You remember this was the case a couple of years ago. It's a civil case, not criminal, for fraud, though. The New York Attorney General won over $400 million. The idea was Trump lied to taxing authorities. He said, my properties aren't worth much at all. But then when he came to applying for loans to banks, he said, they're worth a lot. The problem is that the Court of Appeal has now ruled the huge $300 million plus penalty was excessive against Trump. It just wasn't that bad, they said. But they did say he did commit civil fraud, so the under $100 million penalty applies. So it's good news and bad news for Trump.
Did that include the low estimate with Mar-a-Lago that Trump said?
Yeah,
okay,
exactly. That was part of the mix, and they just found that he really wasn't treating the situation fairly. But again, he's saving hundreds of millions of dollars as a result of today's decision.
Okay, then to the Menendez brothers. Given the national conversation around criminal justice reform and parole for long-term inmates, what factors do you think the parole board will weigh in most heavily with the Menendez brothers case? How much do recent public sentiment shifts influence a decision like this?
Yeah, it really shouldn't affect it at all. What the parole board looks at are things like rehabilitation and remorse. But the third R is the most important, risk to society. They've been labeled by the parole board as moderate risks. And traditionally, 80% of the people who are labeled as moderate risks for violence after they get out are turned down for parole. And the 2 brothers do have that label. And as a result, most people are betting they probably won't get good news. There was a hearing. We don't know how long it lasted or even if it's still going on. It's very secretive. For Eric this morning, it started in San Diego in the morning. Tomorrow morning, Lyle's hearing will happen. But we're still waiting to find the outcome of Eric's hearing. Regardless of what happens, the full parole board has to rubber stamp today's decision, whatever it is, in the next 120 days. And then Governor Gavin Newsom gets to weigh in. He's the final authority. He has a month to decide that. So they're not going to be hearing a final decision for months.
And Royal, when you say that they've been labeled moderate risk, and that typically means they won't get parole, but with all the media attention and everything that is being put on this, is that going to apply a more pressure where we may see something that typically isn't the case?
Yes, great point. The family members want them out, which is very rare, of course. Usually family members say keep them locked up. Plus the evidence of abuse when they were children, that is going to help them. So, yeah, they definitely have a better shot at parole than the typical person who's labeled a moderate risk, which is based on a shrink saying Lyle's a narcissist and Eric is vulnerable to doing what other people want. That's the strike against them. But as you say, there's a lot of pressure to let them go.
You know, what was so interesting to me is the way that the prosecutors talked about their abuse or their alleged abuse during those times. And that when it was retried, that they weren't even allowed to bring up the abuse. Can you talk about like just what it was like when it was going through the trial back then?
Yeah, what happened was during the first trial, there were just a couple of weeks of testimony about abuse. And then in the retrial, they did allow some testimony, but it was limited to the question of whether the brothers really did believe they were about to be killed by their father. And so they were allowed to bring some evidence of abuse to feed into that issue only. But that's something that is, of course, in the rearview mirror in terms of those trials of decades ago.
What do you think is going to happen? Because they're supposed to be behind bars for life. What do you think could happen with the parole board?
Yeah, they were resentenced in May. It went from life without parole to 50 years to life, which granted them the right to ask for parole. The odds are they will be denied parole, but then given a chance in maybe 3 or 4 years to ask again. Even if they're granted parole this year, it's probably a better than 50% chance the governor will say, not on my watch. By the way, I'm running for president. And so they're going to have to stay behind bars. But that's just a guess. We don't know what's going to happen.
I mean, my only thing is that they were saying that they're a risk, but there's so much that, you know, some of the brothers have done behind the scenes, you know, helping people, you know, get better with, you know, as they're behind bars and different programs that the Menendez brothers have been part of. So I'm just surprised that they said
that's another factor in their favor, absolutely. So they've got a high bar to satisfy, but they may well be able to do it between the family support, the good works they've done behind bars, and the evidence of abuse. They could be freed.
ABC News legal analyst Royal Oakes. Royal, thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks.
4:55 on WTMJ. A lot still ahead, including TMJ4 News Chief Political Reporter Charles Benson. He has been on the ground with FEMA. Remember, we told you yesterday that today there'd be about 60 FEMA workers surveying all the flood damage in Milwaukee County. He joins us at 5:15. Also, we have your top stories, traffic and weather at the top of the hour. Here's your business headlines.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Milwaukee Public Market Executive Director Paul Schwartz is not threatened by another competitor in the burbs. He thinks the proposed Brookfield Public Market could be a big benefit to the community. A proposed 5-story apartment building in the Harbor District won its first city approval Tuesday, but another obstacle emerged. Neighboring business Engel Tool and Forge raised concerns that constant machine shop noise will result in complaints. Bear Development may step away if sound proves to be an issue. And Ace Pickleball Club will open its first Wisconsin location in Brookfield on September 6th. I'm Addison Lathers for MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
This report is sponsored by the Pfister Hotel, the beautiful Pfister. Make your reservations right now. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
For over 130 years, the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee has been delighting guests with impeccable service and luxurious accommodations. Celebrate your next special occasion with a stay at this newly renovated Milwaukee icon. Enjoy fine dining at acclaimed restaurants and pamper yourself with a service from the Well Spa and Salon. Experience the hotel's afternoon tea program or take in live music with the best views of the city from Blue, the 23rd floor cocktail lounge. There's always a reason to celebrate with the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today at thepfisterhotel.com.
A cancer diagnosis shouldn't mean we can't make plans. It shouldn't mean living without joy or optimism. Cancer shouldn't be calling the shots. At the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network, we're pushing to put cancer in its place by pulling together teams of leading specialists and researchers who work tirelessly for breakthroughs, who are developing innovative ways to treat every cancer, to treat your cancer. And by providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in Wisconsin, so there are more treatment options and more reasons to be hopeful. So let's keep innovating. Let's keep discovering. Let's push to make every cancer diagnosis a story of survivorship and bring back the lightness of life that cancer takes away. To learn more about breakthrough cancer care, visit Froedtert.com/cancer.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Does your home's landscaping feel a little dated? Maybe the shrubs are overgrown or the flower beds have lost their spark. You don't need to start from scratch to make a huge impact. Landworks Wisconsin can breathe new life into your property with a professional garden renovation. The designers will work with you to refresh your plantings, redefine your garden beds, and restore your home's curb appeal. And while they're upgrading, maybe think about permanent holiday lighting. Give your garden the makeover it deserves. Visit the teams I trust at landworkswisconsin.com.
Hey, it's Vince Vitrano from Wisconsin's Morning News. It's baseball season, which means Brewers 360 is back every day at 8:40. Sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited. Every day, all season long, we're joined exclusively by Brewers guests, including manager Pat Murphy and more. So Murphy, as we're wrapping up our interview.
Great talking. We really enjoyed it, okay?
I was like, you did? Is he just in a good mood, or what'd y'all do to Murph?
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Big Fish Contracting.
We see you out there, making the most of every moment. One big, bright idea at a time. At Blaine's, we're glad to be part of it by offering best-in-class products and solutions at unbeatable farm and fleet prices. Like men's Rustler jeans, $16.99. Rewards members save an extra $1. Men's Lee Extreme Motion jeans, $21.99. 15% off assorted Brinks padlocks. And a DeWalt shop stool with casters, $20 off. Find value on the things you value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Flanners Home Entertainment. Does the audio and video system in your home need an upgrade? Well, Flanners has all the solutions and the installation experts to simplify and upgrade your home entertainment experience. Forget about the impersonable big box stores and risky online purchases. You go with locally owned Flanners, where quality service, the best brands, and guaranteed best price remain top priorities. Stop by Flanners in West Dallas, Grafton, or at Flanners.com. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
Looking for better sleep? Helix Sleep's award-winning mattresses are now at Steinhafels, so you can try before you buy. Get 20% off all Helix mattress orders. Visit steinhafels.com to learn more. Better sleep starts now with Helix and Steinhafels.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Traffic is sponsored by Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield. Visit holtebeck.com.
Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield makes vision care a top priority. They are your premium provider for eye care and corrective eye surgeries. Learn more at holtebeck.com.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
I'm Julia Fellow. This is Wisconsin's afternoon news for Thursday, August 21st. Your top story: FEMA officials are assessing damage across our state.
I'm Telly Hughes, and for John McCure, a big donation to help flood recovery in Wauwatosa.
I'm Debbie Lazago. Westbound 94, we had an earlier vehicle fire right about at Highway F in Waukesha County. They were able to get that cleared out of the way, but those delays are still sticking around. Basically, it's going to be backed up from Highway 100 all the way out to Highway F. On the eastbound side, delays from Highway 16 past Highway F, and then you're back on the brakes from 92nd Street past an accident at 70th Street off on the right shoulder, and stays kind of heavy all the way to 35th. Southbound 43's got some backups from just south of Capitol Drive down through the Marquette to the KK River crossing. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Flood warning remains in effect for the lower Fox River in Kenosha County until Tuesday afternoon. Mainly clear, low of 63. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. You can see the sun, a high of 80 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, FEMA now at work in our state, Federal workers assessing the damage from severe flooding this month in the southeastern part of our state.
The FEMA teams are going door to door in 3 counties: Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Washington. They're trying to talk with families to better understand the impact of our historic flooding.
We're asking them questions. How much water was in their home? Are they unable to live in their home because of the damage that was sustained?
FEMA Rep Cassie Cohn says if you're not home, that's okay. They're just trying to get a snapshot of the flooding's impact to see whether federal aid is needed.
So by understanding the amount of water in people's homes, whether they were able to pay for the repairs or not, that helps us understand, okay, if there's no other resources available, then potentially federal assistance might be needed.
Jessica Tai, WTMJ News.
TMJ4's chief political reporter Charles Benson has been following the FEMA officials in Milwaukee County with the flood cleanup. We have him joining us at 5:15 live.
$1 million to repair a flooded Wauwatosa Park.
That's how much the Tosa Foundation is donating to support flood recovery efforts at Hart Park. The stadium parking lot, softball field, facilities, and green space were heavily damaged in the historic flooding earlier this month. The city of Wauwatosa is still evaluating the damage and coordinating repairs. Some areas reopened today, including the pedestrian bridge. Access to the park will reopen via 70th Street, but 72nd Street will remain closed. You can find the timelines for when other park amenities will reopen at WTMJ.com. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
This just into our newsroom. An active shooter alert has been issued at Villanova University in Pennsylvania.
96 reporting outside the library. Can see him inside from outside the building. 96 is outside the library.
Again, as an active shooter. That audio is from Broadcastify. The school is telling students right now to stay clear of law school and one of the residence halls. As soon as we learn more, we'll bring it to you live.
A scare for students and staff on the campus of the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. Police say an armed individual was spotted on campus, but no one was hurt. University of Tennessee at Chattanooga Police Chief Sean O'Brien.
No threat was identified or located. No injuries to this point have been recorded. Nobody has been transported to the hospital.
Police say the investigation is ongoing and no arrests have been made.
Coming up, how to get kids on a regular sleep schedule as summer winds down.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 5:05.
There's a lot of noise coming out of Washington these days, but one thing retirees in Wisconsin can't afford to ignore is the new Big Beautiful Bill. Sounds harmless, right? But here's the truth. The changes buried in this bill could have a serious impact on your retirement. At Drake & Associates, we've dug into the details, and we want to make sure you know what's really at stake. The Big Beautiful Bill includes sweeping updates to tax brackets, Social Security thresholds, Medicare premiums, and retirement account rules. And for many retirees, it could mean higher taxes on your savings, more limits on deductions, and unexpected changes to your income plan. Maybe you're already retired, or maybe you're just a few years away. Either way, what you don't know could cost you thousands. That's why we're offering Wisconsin residents a free educational guide to help you understand how the new bill may impact retirees and questions to discuss with your trusted financial advisor. Just text the word tax to 414-897-9522. That's tax, T-A-X, to 414-897-9522. You'll get immediate access to expert insights from the team at Drake & Associates, retirement planners who have been serving Wisconsin for over 20 years. We focus on tax-efficient retirement planning, helping you keep more of your money, avoiding surprises, and staying ahead of the curve no matter what Congress throws your way. So before the Big Beautiful Bill takes a bite out of your hard-earned savings, let's make sure your plan is designed to help prepare for uncertainty. Text TAX to 414-897-9522. That's TAX to 414-897-9522. Drake & Associates, helping build retirement confidence right here in Wisconsin.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time 5:07. As the kiddos head back to school, how do you get them to go on a regular sleep schedule again? Some ideas from CBS News reporter Christopher Cruz.
Doctors say getting a good night's sleep is critical for students, and helping them gradually get into a sleep routine before school starts is essential. Dr. Christopher Cello of the Division of Pulmonary and Sleep Medicine at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia.
Sleep's really important in the lives of children. Can affect their mood, can affect their behavior, and can affect other health conditions that they have. And it affects virtually every aspect of their everyday life.
Dr. Cello says a child should go to bed at the same time every night and stay away from screens. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers snapped a 3-game losing streak as they beat the Cubs 4-1 this afternoon at Wrigley Field. The Crew now hold a 7-game lead in the NL Central. They'll return home to start a 3-game series against the Giants Friday night. And coming up in a few minutes, we'll talk to Dom Cotroneo, who was in Chicago at Wrigley Field, up close and personal with the Brewers, and we'll get his take on the overall series. The Green Bay Packers took the practice field alongside the Seattle Seahawks earlier today. The team will wrap up the preseason this weekend. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff Saturday from Lambeau Field.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:08.
I'm Pat Dunphy of Cannon & Dunphy. You know, every team's goals at the start of the Major League Baseball season are to get to the World Series. But only the best teams achieve those goals. They do it with a combination of talent, experience, and a dedication to winning. Like a Major League Baseball team, Cannon & Dunphy's law firm has its goals. That's to win for its clients. And we've been doing it for 40 years with a combination of talent, experience, and a dedication to winning. So if you're hurt in an accident and you need help, call Cannon & Dunphy.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia problems, cognitive decline. It's their specialty. They're great at it. And they also offer early memory loss classes. They can help your loved one with locations throughout our state, many here in Southeast Wisconsin. I've been in their facilities. They're top notch. It's kindness at the core. It's compassion and empathy at Azura. Wisconsin-based and family-owned. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
There's only one store that gives you every possible choice in diamonds.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, Julia Fellow. And in for John McCure, it's Telly Hughes.
Ground ball left side. It'll be Durbin fielding, throwing on the run, one hop, and in time. Ball game over. 4-1. The Brewers finish off the Chicago Cubs.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it going and keep it going with Dom Cotroneo. He's Brewers pre- and post-game host. Dom, where are you right now?
I am sitting in the radio booth here at Wrigley Field and just exited the clubhouse. And wow, what a wild week here on the north side.
Yeah, Dom, I'm sure everyone is breathing a sigh of relief because a 3-game losing streak for this team probably felt like a 13-game losing streak because they've been winning so much. So how were the guys feeling after the game and knowing that they're going to come home to start a homestand and they were able to finish this series on a positive note?
You know, it's funny, Kelly. I think that everybody outside of that clubhouse was freaking out about a 3-game losing streak. And I think that the maturity and the patience and the professionalism exhibited by everybody in that clubhouse these last 3 games, it's like, yeah, they were going to lose 3 games in a row again. And we talked about it so many times last season where obviously the team didn't lose 4 games in a row, and they've done that twice this season. But the ability to end it and the ability to continue to trust your process and get things going in the right direction. Today was a different type of win for the Brewers, right? They get a home run from Bryce Terang. They didn't have an at-bat with a runner in scoring position until that key 8th inning when they added the 2 insurance runs. So they did their job. The wind was blowing in tonight, and it's like, yeah, this is what it's looked like all of the 14 wins as well. It feels like it's inevitable. And the Brewers, you know, all that work for the Cubs. You know, they win 3, but they lose 2, and all that work. And yes, they claimed the season series. They only gained 1 game in the standings, which I think is exactly what the Brewers' worst case scenario really, you know, hey, you only lost 1 game in the series. That's really all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I'm just going to, for the record, our producer Brandon was not one of those fans that thought the sky was falling. Actually, he thought the world was, about to end.
Of course he was. I know Brandon. I know he's certainly definitely level-headed, responding cordially. You'll get him tomorrow. It's no big deal. Crumpling up papers in the background there.
So happy.
But Dom, on a serious note, no fans. I mean, Brewers fans, they don't want to ever see this team lose, and especially 2 or 3 in a row. But I'm someone that actually believes that could be a good thing, because if a team is just cruising and they don't have to face any adversity, when the playoffs come, there's going to be some adversity. And if you don't know how to handle that, it may not work out in your favor. So,
good point.
I mean, I truly believe that, sometimes you do need some adversity. And it seems like the Brewers were able to meet it and not get too down, and they were able to overcome it.
I mean, there's adversity in every game. Even in the winning streak, there's adversity to keep it going and to keep things in the right direction, And I think that the Brewers understand, given the way that the first month and a half went for them, that, hey, that was not even close to the quality of baseball that they could play in their eyes. They knew there was more in the tank. There was more that they were capable of. And now, while they're on this incredible run, the point being is that the Brewers are a club that can, in the blink of an eye, get 4 runs on the board. And on a day like today with the wind blowing in, they can manufacture runs. They can hit the long ball. We've seen that as well over the 14-game winning streak. But adversity is something that I think this team expects and understands. That they don't consider it adversity. They just consider it part of the game. And we've seen so many come from behind wins. We've seen them battle. I mean, even today, they probably didn't have a lot of stats go their way today, right? They walked 8 batters. They had to use a bunch of relievers. The starter didn't get out of the 5th, but yes, they found a way to win the game.
Dom's got me so jacked up right now. I am pumped. This is so good. This is so good, Dom. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for joining us and coming in super quick. Pre and post-game host for the Brewers, Dom Cotroneo. He's incredible. Dom, thank you so much.
It's going to be a fun weekend. Bobby Euchre weekend, of course. Get to your seats early on Sunday, folks. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, that's incredible. 5:14 on WTMJ.
Gruber Law Offices. One call. That's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
Are you feeling the pinch from rising prices? You are not alone. That is why Just Between Friends Milwaukee County is here, helping families say yes without breaking the bank. From September 18th to the 21st at Wisconsin State Fair's Expo Center, you can find thousands of gently used kids through teen clothing, plus toys, books, gear, and more at 50 to 90% off the retail price. Everything is safety checked. It's awesome. Shop early on pre-sale day, September 18th, with paid tickets online, plus free tickets for first-time parents, military, teachers, and more. Head to milwaukeecounty.jbfsale.com. And don't miss the half-price sale on September 21st, where most items are another 50% off. Stretch your dollars, save big. Head to milwaukeecounty.jbfsale.com and get tickets today. That's milwaukeecounty.jbfsale.com. Just Between Friends, Milwaukee County.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. I feel better than I ever have thanks to Connect Chiropractic. Got a little bit of a shoulder issue. The shoulder issue has gotten better. I carry my stress in my upper back. It's gone. It's Connect Chiropractic. I go every single week, and it's a long-term care focus at Connect, making you feel better so you can do the things that you want to do every single day. Play with the grandkids, play that pickleball, get out on the golf course. New location in Oak Creek, joining the existing locations in Tosa and Delafield. Go where I go. Connect Chiropractic.
It was always said about Milwaukee Brewer legend Jim Gantner that he played the game the right way.
God gave me the talent to play baseball, but it's up to me what I want to do with it.
It's just such an exciting partnership for us at Big Fish Contracting. I'm thinking there's a chance if you sign up with us, Jim Gantner may be dropping off a tube of caulk at your house.
Shingles, whatever.
See how Big Fish Contracting is renovating homes and redeeming an industry at bigfishcontracting.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Flanners Home Entertainment, Flanners.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanners Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanners, just press play.
Traffic and then weather. Debbie Lazaga. How are the roads?
All right. Yeah, big delays on southbound 41 coming in from about Good Hope Road all the way down to about Capitol Drive. The northbound side heavy from Watertown Plank Road all the way up past Capitol Drive. Southbound 43, watch for delays from North Avenue down through the Marquette interchange to the KK River crossing. Northbound slowing down from north of Lincoln all the way up and over the high rise all the way to Locust. And then now that fire has been picked up at Highway F, on 94 westbound, we do still have delays coming from the county line all the way out to about Highway F. And then on the eastbound side, some pockets of heavy traffic from Highway 16 through the Barker Road area, and then back on the brakes from 92nd Street through to about 35th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Here is your WTMJ 5-day forecast. A flood warning remains in effect for the Fox River Lower and Kenosha County until Tuesday afternoon. Tonight, it'll be mainly clear, a low of 63 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. You can see the sun, a high of 80. Saturday, a slight chance of morning showers. Mostly sunny, though, on Saturday and breezy, a high of 78. Bit cooler on Sunday, mostly sunny and breezy, a high of 71. Monday, a slight chance of morning showers, mostly sunny. The high will be 68 degrees. Wisconsin's Afternoon News podcast is sponsored by Dave Drakemp Heating. Your comfort is their family's tradition. Visit DaveDrakemp.com. He is the chief political reporter for TMJ4 News and national political correspondent for Scripps News. Charles Benson, we know that FEMA is here in Milwaukee County looking at the devastating floods. A lot of Milwaukee County was underwater. Charles, where are you right now? Were you covering FEMA that was stepping in?
Yeah, very visual part of this process to assess the flood damage. So we were with FEMA inspectors, 58th, near 58th and Silver Spring, that whole street in that area. People just had damage, a lot of flooding in their basements, lost everything that was in their basements. And so what we saw here was FEMA inspectors going door to door, asking questions, getting an idea of what happened to these individual homeowners. And this is part of the process of going on. Look, this is 11 days after this storm hit on August 10th. Now, FEMA says this is their first day being out there going door to door, but they've actually been here, they said, several days talking with state and county officials. Because the big step right now is to assess all this damage and then get it in front of the governor, who then can make the official request to the president for a disaster declaration. So we're still a couple steps away from that financial aid arriving in Milwaukee if, and this is still an if right now, if the president declares the county a disaster, and then that's when the process can begin where people can start applying for that financial help. But boy, in talking to people, they need that now. They want this now. So this process seems very frustrating for them.
Yes, Charles, that's what I was going to ask you about, because this is not going to happen in the next day or maybe even in the next week. But how long do you expect FEMA to be in Milwaukee? Because there are a lot of areas that were affected, and if they're going door to door, that could take a lot of time.
Right. So that's one of the things I asked them, because I was, I said, what if somebody didn't get a door knock from you? What if, you didn't get into their neighborhood? Should people be concerned? They said, look, we meaning FEMA, don't need to get into every neighborhood, knock on every door. There's an overall assessment of things that will help them gather this information. But the timeline to gather that, it sounds to me like the next few days, because what they're doing right now is to get all this information, get the numbers in, the financial numbers, get that in front of the governor, Governor Evers, who then can make that official request. And then we're on the clock on when the president can declare that disaster. And it's only up to the president to decide that. So those are the two big steps going forward. But if we get that declaration, then the ball starts rolling on the financial aid. Having said that, though, that in itself can take time, because people will have to apply for that money. And they'll have to look at it, I'm told, on a case-by-case basis. Just because your neighbor got X amount and you need more or less, it's all, house by house. Also, how much did insurance cover? Was there insurance to cover any of it? How much can FEMA provide support or financial aid? So there's still a lot of questions going forward. But, I can't say it enough in talking with homeowners. They just can't wait. They need it now. When we went down this street on 58, you could just see the pile of debris from their basement that's just hanging out there on the curbside. The good news for them today is that the city crews came by and started picking up some of that stuff, but it just smells. It gets this horrible odor to it because of what flooding can do to your furniture, to your property. It just leaves behind this mess, and they're in the process of trying to clean it up, and they're in the process of trying to get some financial aid to replace those things that were damaged, to start doing the repair work in their basements.
He is the chief political reporter for TMJ4 News and a national political correspondent for Scripps News. Charles, thank you so much for giving us that. The sights, sounds, and smells. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
5:23 on WTMJ. The news is sponsored by Sweet Talks. Med Spa Self-Love starts at Sweet Talks. I also have, oh my goodness, this is disgusting, new news about the Villanova situation. So at Villanova University in Pennsylvania, there was a report of an active shooter. We were looking at live looks from national news reporters in the helicopters. There's so many people swarming the area, law enforcement, that is. There's an update now. Villanova University says reports of active shooter was a, quote, cruel hoax. What the heck?
Well, it is cruel, but I'm relieved that it is just a hoax, and no one was really in danger if this was clearly just something that somebody thought was a really cruel joke or whatever the case may be. But thankfully, no one has been reported being injured or even worse. But yeah,
It's crazy.
That's a not a cool way to start a school year.
Totally.
Yeah.
My goodness. All right. So now you know there. Villanova University, everything is fine. It was a cruel hoax. Time for news about your money and your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything down on the day, slightly, not even 0.5%. So that's good. The Dow was down 152, though. S&P 500 down 25. NASDAQ down 72. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Guthrie and Fry. I love Guthrie and Fry. I've got their water softener, the salt delivered right to the basement. Their RO system, which filters the water in our house. What we drink, what we cook with, is crisp, clean, clear. It's Guthrie and Fry water conditionings, the best in the business. They also provide well pump system service, routine service, and emergency service for when you need it. They've been doing that since 1974. At Guthrie and Fry, they know that better water makes a big difference. The teams I trust are at Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning.
Soak up summer days at the ballpark while they're still here. Be here when the Brewers host the Giants, August 22nd through the 24th. Lead off the weekend with Stranger Things theme night arriving Friday the 22nd. From there, collect a legendary Bob Uecker Golf Umbrella giveaway for the first 25,000 fans on Saturday the 23rd. And if this series couldn't get any better, it's the return of Willy Adames to American Family Field. Get your seats today at brewers.com/tickets.
According to the Census Bureau, more than 12,000 Americans are turning 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. 65 is traditional retirement age because it matches up with Medicare, but Gallup found 61 is the average retirement age. Some Annex clients retire early, but we also have clients working at 70 because they love what they do. You know why? Because they've got plans built by fee-only fiduciaries, plans custom-tailored to their lifestyle. They identify their wants and needs, and we went to work building investment, retirement, tax, and estate plans in their best interest. Proper retirement planning doesn't start the week before you retire. Having a focused plan built by our in-house teams will go a long way in helping you reach the retirement you desire. It all starts with the conversation you probably already have in the back of your mind. It's time to put that into action and contact Annex. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
When's the last time you hopped out of bed without that knee or your back just aching? Or you walked down a flight of stairs without groaning, step by step, right? When's the last time you felt good? The pain never disappears, nothing changes, and you just kind of tough it out. WDTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. Well, the time is now to set up your free consultation with the pros at QC Kinetics. Their regenerative treatments help restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Natural cellular therapies that can help you. There's no knives, no pills, just long-term relief with no dreaded recovery. You can set up a consultation for free, and you can bring your x-rays and your old MRIs for a no-pressure chat and a thorough evaluation. Call QC Kinetics. Worst case, you learn something new. Best case, you get your life back. Call QC Kinetics today, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, our weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market, how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. It's sponsored by the original Knowledge Broker, R&R Insurance. Joining me today is Jeff Salazinski, Executive Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, we've talked about buying insurance on price alone, the risk that comes with that. Let's talk more specifics for folks listening. Some of the examples that you shared before we were on the air here were very interesting.
Thank you, Vince. Great to be here again. I've handled or overseen tens of thousands of insurance claims in the many years I've been in this business. Here are some of the most frequent mistakes I've seen. Claims involving water damage. There are some of the most complex claims to investigate and handle, but many buyers are not aware you can purchase coverage for flood or backup of sewers and drains. Electing not to buy certain coverages or even enough coverage is a frequent mistake, often done to try and save money. Cyber insurance. Many businesses still do not purchase this coverage. Business income and extra expense. My experience has shown many insurance buyers and their agents underestimate how much coverage their client will need. Vince, I've said it before, low prices are great, but I can tell you that nothing stings like finding out you are uninsured or not adequately insured until after a loss.
So from all that, Jeff, what's the primary takeaway for folks listening right now?
It's important to work with a partner that understands insurance coverage in depth and can market your business to ensure you're getting a competitive price as well. You can have both.
So why should a business or a family work with R&R Insurance?
At R&R, we understand insurance coverage and dynamic market conditions. We understand how to present your account to an underwriter in the most favorable light. And R&R has been helping clients for almost 50 years. If you're looking for a better insurance purchasing experience, we'd love to sit down and speak with you. At R&R Insurance, we know business insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
Traffic is sponsored by Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield. Visit holtebeck.com.
Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield makes vision care a top priority. They are your premium provider for eye care and corrective eye surgeries. Learn more at holtebeck.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm Julia Fellow. This is Wisconsin's afternoon news for Thursday, August 21st. Your top story, FEMA officials on the ground in southeast Wisconsin.
I'm Telly Hughes, in for John McCure. An active shooter incident at Villanova University was a cruel hoax.
I'm Debbie Laziga. Southbound on 41, we've got backups from before Appleton Avenue all the way down to the Capitol Drive area. Back on the brakes from the zoo down to about Oklahoma Avenue, and then again from Beloit Road down and around the Hale onto 894 eastbound. Does not let up until you get to about 51st. On southbound 43, backing up from about Locust all the way down through the Marquette to the KK River crossing. Northbound slowing down from about Beecher all the way up to about Locust as well. Other than that, east and westbound 94 not looking too bad. Westbound's a little bit lighter from 27th Street to about Mitchell Boulevard, and then from Highway 100 into Waukesha County. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
A flood warning remains in effect for the Fox River Lower in Kenosha County until Tuesday. Tonight, mainly clear, low of 63. Tomorrow, you see the sun, mostly sunny, a high of 80 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, it's sunny and 71 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, about 60 FEMA workers are now in our state. 4 in Milwaukee County, 1 each in Waukesha and Waukesha counties.
The work FEMA is doing right now is a crucial step in the disaster recovery process. It helps determine the extent of our flooding damage and whether Wisconsin would qualify for a presidential disaster declaration.
So there's already been extensive work done to understand the impacts of this event, and now we're really coming out to verify that at the federal level.
Cassie Cohen from FEMA joined us on Wisconsin's Midday News. What do you need to see as far as damage in order for there to be a presidential disaster declaration?
There is no set dollar amount. There's no threshold that needs to be met. Really what our teams look at is, are there recovery resources already available from state and local governments, or is there a gap that federal assistance may need to fill?
Jessica Ty, WTMJ News.
A report of a shooter on Villanova University's campus in Pennsylvania was, quote, a cruel hoax. According to the school's president, Villanova officials say there was no active shooter, no injuries, and no evidence of firearms on campus. The lockdown on the university campus has been lifted.
President Donald Trump is getting a first-hand look at the streets of Washington, D.C., after previously declaring a crime emergency. CBS News White House reporter Linda Kenyon has the story.
Speaking outside the U.S. Park Police facility in front of hundreds of law enforcement personnel and members of the National Guard, the president said his plan is working.
The numbers are down like we wouldn't believe, but we believe it.
The president's decision to bring in the National Guard has divided people who live and work in the district amid reports that crime was down before the president called in the troops. Trump will soon tour some of the areas where those troops have been stationed. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
Northwestern University released a statement today after settling a lawsuit with former football coach Pat Fitzgerald. The university fired the coach following accusations that he fostered a culture of hazing on the school's football team. News Nation's Sylvia Snowden has more.
The statement said that while the litigation brought to light highly inappropriate conduct in the football program and the harm it caused, the evidence uncovered during the extensive evidence discovery did not establish that any player reported hazing to Coach Fitzgerald or that Coach Fitzgerald condoned or directed any hazing. The school noted that Fitzgerald was saddened to learn of some of the hazing his players experienced and wished him well in resuming his football career. The statement also said the parties would not be disclosing the settlement's terms.
Fitzgerald was seeking $130 million.
A Walworth County Court Commissioner was forced to resign after he asked to see an immigration arrest warrant. Peter Navis was the presiding person in the case of a man from Milwaukee in July when a sheriff's deputy tried to take the man into custody on behalf of ICE. He asked to see a warrant. Prosecutors say he had no right to see. Navis tells the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel he was given two options: voluntarily leave or be fired. Walworth County Clerk of Courts Michelle Jacobs says deputies routinely arrest people on warrants in the courthouse.
An accidental shooting involving a child in Kenosha. The Kenosha County Sheriff's Office responded today after a 9-year-old accessed a locked gun safe, grabbed a gun, and accidentally shot himself in the hand. This happened at the home of a Kenosha police officer. The gun involved was not the officer's duty firearm.
After going missing in the mountains of Norway for nearly a week, a journalist with ties to Wisconsin is now sharing his story.
Alec Loon's 4-day hiking trip turned into a survival mission after slipping and falling down a slope. Loon tells ABC's Good Morning America he lost most of his food and water in the fall.
I remember just licking up every drop of water I could get.
Helicopter crews found Loon 6 days later with broken bones and severe frostbite after days of punishing conditions.
The door of it opens and somebody waves back at me. That was the moment I knew it was finally over.
Loon is still recovering in a Norwegian hospital. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers snapped a 3-game losing streak as they beat the Cubs 4-1 this afternoon at Wrigley Field. The Crew now holds a 7-game lead in the NL Central as they return home to start a 3-game series against the Giants Friday night. The Green Bay Packers took the practice field alongside the Seattle Seahawks earlier today. The teams will wrap up the preseason this weekend. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff Saturday from Lambeau Field.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:36.
It's there all day, and it never goes away. I hate pain. It robs us of so much. But if you take action today, your pain could be gone tomorrow. Because at Rejuvenex, we harness the power of Toradol and hyaluronic acid to calm the inflammation and cushion joints. Rejuvenex treatments are safe, they're FDA approved, and in most cases, insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid, pays for them. At as low as $65 per injection per joint, our treatments are affordable. It's not a gimmick. It's pharmacological medicine administered in office in a simple and convenient manner. And with it, our patients have been able to avoid risky surgery and begin to stop the onset of arthritis. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and here we've made pain treatment as easy and affordable as it can be. Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
He is a chief meteorologist for TMJ4 News, Brian Isnansky. Brian, you know that weather is a really big story when you see Charles Benson out in the field covering FEMA here.
Yeah. It's a big day for Milwaukee because this is when, the boots are on the ground to figure out if we'll get federal funding. So I know you guys have been doing the same thing, but people need to report their damage. They have to report 211 to report and make sure you work your way to getting some sort of compensation.
Yeah, call 211. I was talking to a basement repair expert, an owner in the area in St. Francis. He was talking about the damage. Like, there's some elderly people, like her husband has Alzheimer's, and he was in the basement sifting through the sewage water. And there's another basement that he's dealing with where the entire side, the north side of the basement wall, has caved in. So they can't even live there.
So that's the worst case scenario. A lot of these homes had water that was rushing outdoors and trying to, I guess, get into the basement. And the ground gets eroded, and then all of a sudden the foundation starts to buckle and cave in, and pretty much a house is inhabitable after that. It's pretty much a total loss in many cases, and there are a number of homes in the Milwaukee area dealing with that situation.
Brian, we never really want to focus on what it could be worse, but the great thing is the fact that there's no sustainable or heavy rain that is expected in the near future, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. We have a really quiet pattern. So our water tables are already starting to work their way back closer to normal. Sure, we got some good ground saturation. Many of the area rivers are still quite high, but we're rebounding nicely. We're starting to slowly creep back to normal, and, to the point where a 2-3 inch rain isn't going to cause complete devastation. Whereas if we got that 2-3 inch of rain last weekend, that could have been really, really bad. So we're looking at, a recovery of a couple weeks now that's going to help out.
Thank goodness. You know what Charles was talking about with us in the last half hour, Brian, was the smell, the stench of all of the stuff that's on the side of the road. That was ruined. Some people had their whole home messed up.
That's the bigger story out of all this, and I'm not an expert on it. I know just from the research and reading that I've done, but the amount of sewage that got backed up in our system, Milwaukee's system, is terrible. And I'm not saying that it could have been preventable or what the answers are with it. This is again a once in a lifetime or greater flooding event. But a ton of sewage ended up, emergencyly dumped into Lake Michigan, which isn't good either. But if you don't do that, then you get more backups, even more than what we've seen across the city. So we just took on too much water than we can handle here in Milwaukee. It was, again, truly a historic event.
Brian, another perfect day, and being a golfer, I mean, we couldn't ask for anything more, man.
It's
Matt's
top 10, ain't it?
tomorrow too.
Yeah, it is. I mean, seriously, it's perfect. 70s, lower humidity, sunshine, lighter winds. Tomorrow we bump up a little bit. Back up to around 80, and then that cooler stuff starts to settle in for the weekend. But still, not like game-changing cool. It's not like we're all going to be like shivering by any means, but noticeably cooler, a little hint of fall in the air late weekend and early next week.
All right, Brian, take us home with the 5-day.
Sure. Yeah, so mainly clear skies tonight. 63 degrees lakeside, 58 degrees inland. Friday, mostly sunny and warmer, 81. Saturday, the tiniest chance of a shower before most of us get going. Tell you your tea time would have to be like 6 a.m. for it to be in jeopardy. But no, it's like really the smallest chance.
I'm good with that.
Nice. Yeah. Mostly sunny skies on Saturday, 77. Sunday, partly cloudy, breezy, cooler, a high of 70 in Milwaukee. Then it's Sunday night that I think we dip down to around 50 in Milwaukee, but outside of the city, 40s for low temperatures Monday morning. And then Monday's high, only 68 degrees. So again, January, you would be thinking, oh man, break out the shorts. It's no problem. But given where we are this time of year, 68 for a high and low in the 40s is pretty chilly.
He is Chief Meteorologist Brian Isnansky, gives concierge weather forecast for Telly and me sometimes. Thank you so much.
Sure.
You're amazing. All right, so watch TMJ4 News Chief Meteorologist Brian Isnansky at 6. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, we'll see you guys later.
All right, see ya. 542 on WTMJ.
Discover Proof Pizza at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. In the heart of Milwaukee's Theater District, this modern pizzeria delivers Neapolitan-style pies, a bold grill menu, and old-school hospitality in a sleek, art-inspired setting. Whether you're craving a quick lunch or a relaxed evening bite, Proof Pizza is your go-to downtown destination. Dine in, unwind, and savor flavor that hits just right. And here's a tip. If you mention Jen Latta, you'll receive 10% off your order. Learn more at stkatearts.com.
Hey, it's Vince Vitrano from Wisconsin's Morning News. It's baseball season, which means Brewers 360 is back every day at 8:40. Sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited. Every day, all season long, we're joined exclusively by Brewers guests, including manager Pat Murphy and more. So Murphy, as we're wrapping up our interview.
Great talking to you. Really enjoyed it. Okay.
I was like, you did? Is he just in a good mood, or what'd y'all do to Murph?
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Big Fish Contracting.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Appliance Gallery. If you are ready to turn your kitchen into a true showpiece before your next big family event, step into Appliance Gallery in Milwaukee, where elevated design meets unmatched luxury and dependability for you and your family, because your kitchen deserves more than just appliances. It deserves artful craftsmanship built to express. And you can find that at Appliance Gallery. Head to appliancegallerywi.com or stop by their beautiful, most up-to-date showroom in our state. Now, it's a family-owned destination, offering the most up-to-date showroom featuring luxury brands like Wolf, renowned for their precision cooking and bold designs, luxury refrigeration and legendary reliability with Sub-Zero, known for their iconic red knobs and customizations with Cove. And it's built to last. And what sets them apart is their experienced professional in-house installers, ensuring your appliances are placed perfectly, panel ready or freestanding. Fast delivery, seamless installation, personal professional service. Visit appliancegallery.com or stop by Wisconsin Avenue Business Today in person. appliancegallerywi.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Good idea to have a plumber in your contact list, and best to have it before an emergency. Vince Vitrano here. I've got your plumber. It's Horner Plumbing. My wife and I have them in our home right now working on a small project. Well, it's small for them, but any project is a big deal to you in your home, and you want it done right at a fair price. Horner Plumbing delivers upfront pricing, no surprises, clear, honest estimates from pros who stand by their work. $50 off that first service when you tell them Vinny sent you. HornerPlumbing.com. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Inspired Closets, something that can positively affect your mood, getting organized and clearing out the clutter. A well-rounded closet could be the most powerful room in your home. Inspired Closets can transform your closets or laundry room, your pantry, any space in your house. What separates Inspired Closets from the others? Their 3D design software and a culture that promises to build what you want and need. Call my friends Katie and Dan today, a wife-husband team ready to help. Inspired days start in Inspired Closets. InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Flanners Home Entertainment, Flanners.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanners Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanners, just press play.
Men's wedding bands made from whiskey barrels and meteorites.
Welcome to Kessler's.
547 on WTMJ, 71 and sunny out here in Milwaukee. Let's get a check of your traffic with Debbie Lazaga.
All right, slow speeds on 43 southbound coming in from just south of Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette to about Lincoln. Northbound's going to be slowing down through the Marquette all the way up towards North Avenue. Southbound on 41 also slowing down from Appleton Avenue to about Capitol Drive. Northbound from just past Watertown Plank Road all the way up to Hampton. Eastbound 94, we got some backups from Highway 164 through the Barker Road area to about Brookfield Road. And then more delays on 94 eastbound from the Zoo Interchange to about 35th Street. Westbound 94, watch out for some delays just past Highway 16, and that'll take you all the way out to about Elmhurst Road. So keep that in mind as well. And more delays on the bypass heading southbound from the Zoo to Lincoln, and then from Oklahoma Avenue down and around the Hale to 51st. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
A heroic moment from Wisconsin U.S. Congressman Derek Van Orden after helping save a bleeding 11-year-old boy injured in a serious crash in Iowa this weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Well, it's nice to be here. It's nice to tell a good story for a change.
No kidding. So this happened in Iowa. Were you
Correct.
traveling on I-35? How did you see this?
Yes, we were going down to be with family to celebrate the life of our daughter who passed away 2 years ago on Tuesday. So we're going down to a memorial service. And we just got past Osceola in Iowa, and there's a semi-truck parked on the northbound lane. I didn't think anything of it until I heard a huge boom. I looked in the rearview mirror and I saw essentially a minivan disintegrating. It hit the back of the semi-truck going probably 70 miles an hour. And my wife said, "What was that?" And I looked at her and I said, "Someone just died." It was that horrific of a crash. So I turned around, I drove northbound in the median. There's a grass median there, and I stopped about 15 meters away from the truck because the minivan, I didn't know if it was going to blow up or not. I got out of the car, or of our vehicle, ran over. There's a female in the driver's seat. Ran to the passenger side, which took the brunt of it. And there was this young man in there who's essentially, and you could see his tibia and fibula. He also had an open fracture on his forearm with what turned out to be an arterial bleed in his wrist. So I ran back to my truck and grabbed 2 pairs of socks from my suitcase and went back and tied them into constricting bands. There wasn't enough material to make tourniquets out of the socks. So that slowed the blood a lot. And then more and more people started showing up heroically. They were so awesome. I'm so proud to be American. And I asked if anybody had a knife. They handed me a carpet knife, and I cut the seat belts into pieces long enough to make tourniquets. So we made a tourniquet for his arm and one for his leg, and that stopped the bleeding completely, which is what had to happen.
If you weren't there, what would have happened?
Well, I mean, that's up to God, but he was bleeding significantly. And I'm not just a retired SEAL, I'm a retired combat medic. And I've seen this is essentially a war wound. It's called a rapid deceleration injury, but it looked like a blast or a high velocity missile wound, actually. But a woman showed up. She said that she was a medic. I'm like, awesome. So she went over and started taking care of the driver, who was not really injured unless she had internal damage. But I don't know about that. So she helped there. The firefighter showed up. Paramedics showed up. The police, the sheriffs, even a game warden. And everybody, just consummate professionals. But before everybody got there, this is why I love America. I'm sitting there trying to crank down this tourniquet on this young guy's leg, and I heard someone behind me say, "We got to start doing traffic control." And I turned around. It wasn't the police. It was just Midwesterner that stopped, and they went out there. They stopped traffic. They wound up blocking the road with their vehicles to protect us as we're working on this young child. And it was just awe-inspiring. Just everybody came together instantly and just did exactly what needed to be done. Really great.
You know, you're a retired Navy SEAL, combat medic. I don't think people understand when you do a tourniquet how tight you need to get it
especially if you're a little bit bigger. So he was not a small lad, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
So that just makes it more difficult. But reflecting on this, so we were literally going to a memorial service for our daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And when I walked in the hospital room, so I gave the trooper my information because I was a witness and I helped with the medical care. And the father asked who had helped, and the trooper gave him my phone number because he wanted to say thank you. And Sarah and I, when we were coming back up to Wisconsin, we went through Des Moines again, and that's where they were life flighted. So we went in to see the boy, and he recognized me right away. And then he said, "Thank you very much. I wouldn't be here without you." And I said, "You're welcome. And now you owe me. And here's what you owe me. You got to grow up and be a fine man." And that kid, he's 11 years old, was one of the bravest people I've ever met in my entire life. When he was in that car, and someone was literally had to hold the roof of the car up because that whole side was just ripped, like the door was gone. I have no idea where the door is. I mean, it was that bad. He said, "Is my leg gone?" I said, "No, it's not." And I said, I'm a combat medic. I'm a retired Navy SEAL. I've seen injuries like this before, but you're going to be okay. Everything's going to be just fine. And he said, "When's the pain going to stop?" And I told him, "The ambulance will be here in a little bit. We're going to help you with that." And then he just sat there. I mean, just tough as nails. Wow. And with his dad, he obviously didn't know that we had lost a child. But I was like, "Sir," and my wife was with me in the hospital. And that puppy you see in the picture is actually Maple. She's our dog. We smuggled her in the hospital.
Whose dog is that?
That's my dog.
Yes, you can see that photo if you text WATCH right now to our Setting Unlimited Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. WATCH, WATCH, to 855-616-1620. We are talking to U.S. Congressman Derek Van Orden.
Yeah, so I you know what? Who doesn't like a puppy? So we smuggled Maple into the hospital. I admit it, to show him he was really happy to see her. But so I said to his father, I said, "Sir, Sarah and I lost a child 2 years ago, and I'm very thankful that you will not be going through that experience." It was really heartwarming.
Thank you so much for doing that, and thank you for your service as well. There was a driver involved in the crash suspected of drunk driving. Was that the driver of the semi or the driver of the van?
The driver of the van.
Oh, that's really unfortunate.
It's terrible. I think that they just drifted off the road, not paying attention, and I'm telling you that it was the destruction to that vehicle, and the fact that neither one of them died is a miracle. And I just want to praise everybody that showed up there. No one asked who you are, what you're doing. That is America. Not this garbage that goes on in Washington, D.C. on cable news and everybody yelling at each other all the time and nitpicking everything. When push comes to shove, Americans come together and we get it done. Well, wait, hold on. I checked in with his dad this morning.
Yeah.
I just got this second.
Oh.
I asked how he's doing. He said he's coming a long way and making great progress in therapy. Sawyer says hi, and you're a big motivation. Everything is wiggling and working.
Whoa, that's fantastic. That's huge.
You just got a live update. I just got that.
Wow.
Wow, that's
Wisconsin U.S. Congressman Derek Van Orden, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. You take care.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Milwaukee Public Market Executive Director Paul Schwartz